What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode. Coach Joe here with Heartletics.com, and I'm excited for today's episode because I'm going to be sharing with you 5 ways on how you can have more confidence. Let's dive in. For today, let's talk about 5 ways to become more confident. And like I said, I know that is, very important when it comes to improving somebody's mindset, but just overall somebody's life. Who doesn't want to become confident? But before we start diving into the 5 different ways to become more confident, let's first go over what people normally think, right? People think that you have to look a certain way, that confidence comes from the outside on how you look. And you're going to see from these 5 ways on how to actually become, right? Literally become more confident. It has nothing to do with how you look on the outside. It has everything to do with the inside. Somebody could say, oh, I want to get ripped, and as soon as I have abs or a chiseled chest or look like this action figure of a man that's this photo, right? Then I'll be more confident. But it's not the case at all. In fact, if you think about it, like people that are like professional bodybuilders or physique competitors, they're constantly being judged. Literally, because that's their occupation, right? They're constantly on stage being judged with how they look. So that's a lot of insecurities for them. In fact, like bodybuilders and, physique competitors, they're in fact some of the most insecure people because they're constantly thinking about what does others see me as, right? How do others perceive me as? What changes can I make? And that's why they're very strict on their training and nutrition, and it's not fun, it's not flexible, honestly. And that's why at Heartletics, we don't coach bodybuilders. We don't, none of that stuff, right? Physique competitors, nothing like that. We coach flexibility. We coach lifestyle. We coach what really matters, And what matters, especially with confidence, is how you see yourself, right? Not what's on the outside, but what's on the inside. And so let's start diving into these tips. The first one is competence. And the definition of competence is that you are capable or, can be performing a task or a job effectively. AKA, you're putting in the reps, You're able to do something over and over and over and over and over again. And in the beginning of anything, it's hard typically, especially if you're not used to it, especially if you haven't tried it before. Let's say you're going to the gym, right? For the first time in, I don't know, maybe just your life or the past 5-10 years, whatever the case may be, but first time, and you do your very first workout. Well, guess what? You're going to feel like you got hit by a bus the next day, maybe even the next several days, right? It's called DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, okay? And that's that feeling of just all the lactic acid, the inflammation, everything like that, because, hey, our body's not used to that, right? It's been so long since we last worked out, but I promise you this, that if you continue training and training and training and training and training, you're not going to feel that way anymore, You're putting in the reps. Your body's getting used to it. Well, so how do you build more confidence when it comes to, applying competence? It's simple. You're applying the reps. You're showing up each and every day, and that's where you really got to focus on where's your goals at, what it is that you want to improve on, and show up. Put in the reps, put in the reps, put in the reps over and over and over and over and over again. If let's say, for example, this used to be me. I used to hate public speaking. It used to scare the crap out of me. So, back when I was in school and college, I made it a mission that, hey, if I want to do like motivational speaking or ever be on stage and it scares me right now, like I literally hate it, right? Like, how can I be better at it? It decided, right? I had to take action because it's a big part to anything when it comes to achieving success at it, right? You have to take action. So what I started doing was just simply, hey, started raising my hand more in class, in college, right? Speaking more in front of groups, right? Like even if I'm just know for a fact, like the answer that I might not be the best answer, who cares, right? It's just me showing up. And over time, right, just me taking that action as far as like, hey, does anybody want to, present their, whatever, their idea or presentation. Does anybody want to go? Scare the crap out of me, but guess what? Rip off that Band-Aid. You do that over and over and over again. Obviously, going to next after college, the work field, same thing. Just constantly being there. Hey, let me just talk. Let me just show up, right? And just over time, it gets better and better and better. And you get used to it because you're applying the reps. So if you want to get confident at anything you do, right? Apply more reps. And over time, as long as you don't give up, it gets so much easier. The second is affirmations. Now, before you go and say like, oh man, I'm not gonna, listen to this, like affirmations, a bunch of like woo-woo and whatnot, hear me out. And this is why I have this quote by Michael Jordan. He said, I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. That's an affirmation coming from the greatest basketball player of all time. Think about it. What did he affirm? Right? I have, right? Meaning it's the past. I failed over and over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Present. Guys, when it comes down to creating affirmations for yourself, it doesn't have to be this, sitting in the whatever, and just keeping your hands folded like this, or staring yourself dead in the eyes and, saying like, I'm a millionaire, I drive a red Ferrari, and, I have six-pack abs, and, currently right now, like you're over 30% body fat, like there's no abdominals at all that you can see, When you affirm things like that, it makes things way harder for yourself, because now it's this fake it till you make it, persona syndrome. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not. I'm more of a fan of, creating affirmations that resonate with you, but also think about it like this. And this is the easiest way. If let's say your spouse gets a promotion at their job, you're probably going to say, congratulations, I love you, I'm proud of you. If let's say your child gets a good grade on their test, you're probably going to say, congratulations, I'm proud of you. What if you passed a test or, got advancement in your career? Would you ever tell yourself that you're proud of yourself? Most of the time, people say no. And honestly, it's like you have to learn how to become your biggest fan, your biggest support. Back when I was doing, mixed martial arts and boxing, like it's great having, people hyping you up, saying like, oh, go in there, like you're going to beat up the dude, you're going to knock him out. But it's even better when you're walking to the arena, when you're walking to the ring and the octagon, knowing, hey, I got this. Because you said it so many times. So keep that in mind. You have to be your own biggest fan. You have to be your biggest support, honestly, and create an affirmation that resonates with you. You can say, I am, and then whatever your name is, in the process, right? Because that's a truth. You're in the process of becoming the best version of yourself. Say something like that. Say something like, I'm enough. You can even say something small and so just easy, right? Hey, I am in charge of today, and I'm going to make today great. I'm going to make today a great day. You're in charge of that. It's empowering, So I encourage you and give you permission. Start talking to yourself that way. It's the same thing as if, let's say, your best friend was struggling, on their weight loss journey, and they just started maybe like 2 weeks ago, right? And maybe they're not progressing. You're going to look at them and say like, hey, why are you complaining? Like, don't give up. Like, you just started 2 weeks ago. Give yourself more time. Keep going. You got this. Tell yourself the same things. We have to learn how to become our own best friend, honestly. And that's what's going to help us when it comes to, having more confidence. So, the third, right, way to increasing more confidence is stepping outside your comfort zone. And I love this quote by Wayne Gretzky. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So much truth to that. Your comfort zone is honestly like the biggest thing as to what is automatically going to make you not successful, right? And so what does being not successful mean? I guess let's get clarity on that. That means that you are trying to get somewhere in your life, whether it's with your career, whether it's with your health, whether it's with your relationships, whether it's whatever the case may be. You're trying to get somewhere, you're not going to be successful because your comfort zone is going to be that barrier of entry. Your comfort zone is going to do everything possibly, right, in its stronghold, right, to keep you on this side, to keep you from progressing and having your goals. It's going to feed you all the lies, and that's mainly it, because we are our own biggest enemies. We ourselves, which means the lies that we tell ourselves. That's why we need to make sure we are saying affirmations, different things like that, working on our mindset. But regardless, your mind will tell you these lies. You're not good enough. You're not going to progress. This is just like everything else. You're going to fail at this. No one else. And this is where you got to have a role model. You got to have something out there. You got to have somebody to look up to, honestly, to just say, you know what? If somebody else can do it, I can do it too. That's it. That's it. Plain and simple. That's why I'm a huge fan of Roger Bannister, the man that ran the first ever 4-minute mile. Before he was able to complete it, everybody thought it was impossible. In fact, doctors thought that the human heart would explode if anybody was to attempt and complete a 4-minute mile run. He was able to do it. As soon as he was able to do it, a lot of people now, I'm not going to say everybody because that's not true, but a lot of people can complete that now. In fact, high schoolers can complete a 4-minute mile run because Roger Bannister broke that self-limiting belief. He stepped outside of his comfort zone. He wasn't going to let those lies of what everybody else was telling him, but also probably himself. He probably had these own doubts, but most importantly, he probably had that confidence saying, hey, I'm going to step outside my comfort zone. I'm going to try this. I'm going to attempt it. Your fullest potential is right on the other side of your comfort zone. And honestly, when it comes to help, increasing and having more confidence, you have to push yourself each and every day. I wake up each and every day and I'm looking in terms of, if this is my last day, what can I do to make an impact? What can I do to make a change? What can I do to make a positive effect on somebody else's life? And typically that means me doing something outside of my comfort zone. It could be something very, very small, right? Like holding the door open for somebody, having a conversation with somebody just randomly, messaging somebody I haven't talked to in years, small stuff like that. It could be going for, crazy PR in the gym, or, deciding to, hey, you know what? I'm normally hitting, 8,000 steps. Today I'm going to push it. I'm going to do 12,000, right? So whatever the case may be. Small thing, big thing, it doesn't matter. Competence, right? Remember the beginning? Number 1, competence. So it's like, hey, put in the reps. Whether it's small, whether it's big, you're regardless stepping outside your comfort zone each and every day. The 4th way to have more confidence is failure. Now, I love this because failure, to me at least, right, means you're on the path. Means like you're on the right direction. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not, into terms of where you're trying to get to. Health goals, relationship goals, career goals, anything like that. It's not supposed to be easy. And you have to tell yourself that from the get-go. You have to tell yourself, hey, if it was easy, everybody and their mother would be successful. Everybody and their mother would be millionaires. Everybody and their mother would have 6-pack abs, right? That'd be kind of weird, but regardless. You have to tell yourself, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to continue to do this until I'm done, right? Plain and simple. This is my goal. I'm going after it. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. FAIL stands for first attempt in learning. And you got to learn over and over and over and over again. Think about it like this from Thomas Edison. He says, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. So think about that. Think about that. How many times will you attempt something? In terms of, okay, hey, it didn't work, I'm just going to quit now. It didn't work here, I'm just going to quit now. Didn't work here, I'm just going to quit now. It's like, no, you continue to show up. You continue to show up. You continue to show up. You have to be so focused. Just your mindset has to be on point, saying, regardless of how I feel, And regardless of the circumstances in the present moment, whether I'm seeing success or not, I am not going to quit. I am not going to give up. You have to have that mindset. You have to be hungry for change. You got to be relentless on the pursuit of you becoming the best version of yourself. And you have to understand that, like, if it was easy, everybody would have it. Sometimes you have to go through failures. Sometimes you have to go through trial and errors, but it only makes you stronger in the end. And then the last one, this is tip number 5 when it comes to ways on just having more confidence. And I love this quote right here about our environment. Okay, the world in which we live and work is a mirror of our attitudes and expectations. Because when I have 5 on here as environment, I'm sure you're probably thinking in terms of, like, I don't know, your surroundings, all that stuff. But your environment is also, you know, the words, the thoughts, everything, your mindset. It's not just on the outside. It's on the inside as well. And I really want you to think about this in terms of the outside. What is your outside environment that's dripping into your mindset? So, for example, I talked about this often. I love having different motivational things around my office, right? I got different affirmations back there. I got success photos. I got Bible verses up here for encouragement and hope and, just everything. I love coming down to my office, because you just get this sense of just inspiration. This is my environment though. So it's like whenever I'm feeling down, I can look up and I can see some Bible verses, or I can see some affirmations, or I can see my vision board, or just some success portraits to really just amplify, like, okay, hey, I got this, keep going, So your environment's everything. And this is why at Heartletics, we also talk strongly about, hey, the heart that's in Heartletics is the community. And that's a big, big portion of all of this. I'll say it like this, the people that you surround yourself with, you will subconsciously start to become like them, So it's like, who are the people that's in your corner? If let's say I'm going after my goals, and let's say my family, wasn't the biggest fan of me reaching my goals, and they didn't really, encourage me and care too much about it. My friends didn't care and, too much about it at all, right? No one cared. They're kind of doing their own thing. They're not into it. Whatever. Hey, you can't force anybody to do anything, but I'll tell you anything. If I'm surrounded by them all day long and they're just, sitting on the couch and not really caring about what they put into their bodies and not being active, and my friends are just, drinking beer and playing video games all day long, and I'm surrounding myself with them, guess what? One, I'm not going to feel pretty too motivated to be active and healthy. Second is the simple fact of, am I getting or gaining the confidence? Think about it. If I'm trying to go after my goals and I don't have support, I don't have people encouraging me, how confident am I going to be, especially if I don't have it by myself yet, right? Something I got to build upon. So it's like, you can also look at it in terms of going out to war. Are you going to feel more confident going out to war knowing hey, you got your brothers in arms next to you, right? They're fighting to save your life. They're fighting to save the land as well. Versus, let's say, if you're going out to war all by yourself. I think anybody's going to answer, hey, I'm going to feel more confident going out to war with an army supporting me. So your environment matters, Start focusing on what kind of tweaks you can start making when it comes to any of these, 5 different ways when it comes to increasing and having more confidence. And just a quick little recap, number 1, competence. You're putting in the reps. You're showing up each and every day. Number 2, affirmations. Remember, that is something that resonates with you. That's something that hypes you up, Go out there and say, hey, you know what? Today, I'm going to make it a great day. Just affirm that. Whatever the case may be that resonates with you. Number 3, step outside your comfort zone. That could be something small, like calling up somebody you haven't talked to in years and just checking in with them. Or that could be something big, like starting a big, venture project, or whatever the case may be. It's completely up to you, but step outside your comfort zone. Okay? Each and every day, whether it's big, whether it's small. Number 4 is fail. And fail often. Honestly, keep on failing, because I'd rather go through the journey of life having all these failures at the end of it, rather than go through this journey of life and having regrets at the end of it. Let that sink in. And lastly, number 5, your environment. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with the right people, have the right influences, have the right surroundings that is supporting you, motivating you, but also encouraging you when you need it, because every dog has its day. Everybody has the good wolf, the bad wolf to feed. Sometimes that bad wolf wins, plain and simple. But when you are surrounded with the right people and have the right environment there to help you out, it definitely helps you get right back on track. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode, going over 5 ways on how you can have more confidence. And trust me, you want to have more confidence. Always develop that like a muscle and always work on that, especially when it comes to going after your goals. Because let's face it, you only have one life to live. But if you do it right, all you need was one. That's it. Plain and simple. One and done. Live your best life after, because you're going to be confident in going after your goals. If you guys got any value or felt inspired from today's episode, do me a favor. Give this episode and video a thumbs up. Share this maybe with a friend or a family member, or maybe even on your social media page. Help inspire some other people out there. And as always, guys, this has been Coach Joe with the Heartletics Podcast. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts.